Are you a lawbreaker? If you answered no, you may need to rethink that after you watch this video. We're about to take a trip around the world to uncover some of the most shocking and unusual laws that could land you in hot water faster than you can say international incident. From seemingly innocuous acts like chewing gum to everyday habits like flushing the toilet, these laws prove that what's perfectly legal in your backyard could be a jailable offense elsewhere. So buckle up, dear viewers, as we navigate the minefield of international legal quirks and try not to get arrested along the way. Because, let's be honest, nobody wants to explain to their cellmate that they're facing 10 years for accidentally wearing high heels to a historical site. Our first stop takes us to the pristine streets of Singapore, a nation known for its order and cleanliness. But beware, gum chewers, your favorite stress reliever could land you a hefty fine.
That's right, in Singapore, chewing gum is strictly prohibited. In 1992, the government decided enough was enough after gum vandals wreaked havoc, sticking their chewed wads on sidewalks, subway doors, and even on sensors that disrupted train service. The result? A nationwide ban that's still in effect today.
So, if you're caught with even a single stick of gum, you could be slapped with a fine of up to $1,000. Now, some might call this extreme, but Singapore argues it's all in the name of maintaining a spotless environment. And you know what? It seems to be working. Singapore is often praised for its cleanliness, proving that sometimes drastic measures can lead to sparkling results. But still, maybe leave the double bubble at home for this one. Next, we journey to the land of the rising sun, where politeness and respect are deeply ingrained in the culture. But hold on to your hats and your wallets, folks, because tipping in Japan is not just unnecessary, it's often considered downright rude.
That's right, in Japan, good service isn't something you reward with a few extra yen, it's simply expected. So if you try to tip your waiter, taxi driver, or bellhop, don't be surprised if they refuse it outright. It's not that they don't appreciate your generosity. It's just that accepting a tip can be seen as an insult, implying that they need your charity to do their job properly.
Instead of reaching for your wallet, the best way to show your appreciation in Japan is with a simple arigato gozaimasu, thank you very much, and a sincere bow. Trust us, your gesture will be far more appreciated than any amount of money. So, leave your tipping habits at the door and embrace the Japanese way of showing gratitude. Ah, France, the land of romance, fine wine, and a ban on kissing on train platforms? That's right, mon chéri. If you're feeling amorous while waiting for the train, you might want to hold off on that passionate embrace.
This law dates back to 1910, when French officials decided that public displays of affection were causing delays and disrupting train schedules. Apparently, all those lingering goodbyes were throwing the entire French railway system into disarray.
While the law might seem a bit archaic today, it's still technically in effect in some areas, particularly at busy stations. So, if you don't want to risk a fine or, worse yet, the wrath of a disgruntled station master, it's best to keep your hands and lips to yourself until you're safely aboard the train. But hey, on the bright side, it does add an element of anticipation to those train journeys, doesn't it? Just think of it as a delayed gratification kind of romance. Now, let's hop over to Germany, a country known for its precision engineering, delicious sausages, and an unwavering respect for the rules of the road. And when we say rules, we mean it, people. Because in Germany, jaywalking is not just frowned upon, it's practically a national sin.
That's right. Crossing the street without using a designated crosswalk, even if there isn't a car in sight, can land you a hefty fine. The Germans take their pedestrian safety very seriously, and they have a point. Jaywalking can be dangerous, leading to accidents and injuries.
So, if you find yourself itching to cross the street in Germany, resist the urge. Wait for the little green man to give you the go-ahead, even if it feels like you're the only one following the rules. Remember, in Germany, it's better to be safe and law-abiding than sorry. Our next stop takes us to Greece, the birthplace of democracy, philosophy, and some of the most stunning ancient ruins in the world. But if you're planning on channeling your inner goddess while exploring these historical treasures, you might want to leave the stilettos at home. That's right, in Greece, wearing high heels at certain ancient sites is strictly prohibited. And no, it's not because the ancient Greeks had something against fashionable footwear. The reason is far more practical preservation. Those towering heels can damage the delicate marble and ancient stones, eroding centuries of history with every step. So if you want to avoid the disapproving stares of tour guides and the potential for a hefty fine, opt for a sturdy pair of sandals or sneakers instead. Trust us, your feet and the ruins will thank you for it. After all, you're there to soak up the history, not to make history as the person who accidentally chipped the Parthenon with their Louboutins. Hold on to your hats and your gas tanks as we head back to Germany for another round of laws that will make you say, automatically, nope. This time, we're tackling a rule that's as practical as it is anxiety-inducing: running out of gas on the Autobahn. For those unfamiliar with this iconic German highway, the Autobahn is a driver's paradise, with stretches of road that have no speed limit. But this freedom comes with a caveat. You better make sure your tank is full. Running out of gas on the Autobahn is not just inconvenient, it's illegal. Yep, you heard that right. The German authorities see it as a preventable offense, a sign that you haven't properly planned your journey. And the punishment? A hefty fine, of course. So before you hit the Autobahn, make sure you've got enough fuel to get you where you're going and then some. Because the only thing worse than getting stuck in traffic on the Autobahn is getting stuck on the Autobahn with an empty tank and an expensive fine looming over your head. Next, we're off to Venice, the city of canals, where romance blossoms on gondolas and pigeons. Well, pigeons are everywhere. But before you reach for those breadcrumbs to befriend these feathered fiends, be warned. Feeding the pigeons in Venice is strictly verboten. You see, Venice has a bit of a pigeon problem. These birds might seem harmless enough, but their droppings have been wreaking havoc on the city's historic buildings and monuments. So, in an effort to control the pigeon population and protect its architectural treasures, Venice has implemented a strict no-feeding policy. And they mean business. Tourists caught tossing snacks to the pigeons can face fines of up to 700 euros. That's a pretty expensive birdseed budget, wouldn't you say? Chapter 8. The Swiss Sound of Silence. Why flushing after 10 p.m. could land you in hot water. Hold on to your toilet handles, folks, because our next stop takes us to Switzerland, a land known for its stunning scenery, delicious chocolate, and a surprising aversion to late-night bathroom noises. That's right, in some Swiss apartments, flushing the toilet after 10 p.m. is considered a serious breach of peace and quiet. Apparently, the Swiss take their sleep very seriously, and the sound of a flushing toilet echoing through the building after hours is enough to send them into a sleep-deprived rage. Now, this rule isn't universal throughout Switzerland. It often depends on the specific building regulations and the sensitivity of your neighbors. But if you find yourself needing to use the facilities after 10 p.m., it's best to tread lightly and flush quietly. Or better yet, just hold it until morning. Your neighbors will thank you for it. Chapter 9. Fashion Police. Why wearing camo in Barbados could get you arrested. Next, we jet off to Barbados, an island paradise known for its stunning beaches, crystal clear waters, and a surprising rule about clothing choices. Now, you might think that the biggest fashion faux pas you could commit in Barbados is a swimsuit malfunction, but you'd be wrong. The real fashion crime in this Caribbean nation is rocking up in camouflage. That's right, in Barbados, wearing camouflage clothing is strictly prohibited for civilians. Why, you ask? Well, it all boils down to national security. You see, in Barbados, camouflage is reserved for the military. So, unless you want to be mistaken for a member of the Barbados Defense Force, it's best to leave your camo pants, jackets, and hats at home. Stick to your floral prints and tropical patterns, and you'll blend right in. Chapter 10. Cleanliness is next to godliness and mandatory in Russia. Our final stop takes us to Russia, a vast and fascinating country with a rich history, stunning architecture, and a surprising obsession with clean cars. That's right, in Russia, driving a dirty car isn't just a sign of poor hygiene. It's a violation of public order. Apparently, the Russian authorities believe that a clean car is a happy car, and a happy car is less likely to cause trouble. So if you're cruising around Moscow or St. Petersburg and your car is looking a little worse for wear, you might want to swing by a car wash before the police catch wind of your dusty ride. Because in Russia, a little soap and water can go a long way in keeping you on the right side of the law. Chapter 11. Law-abiding citizens, or else. So, there you have it, folks, a whirlwind tour of some of the most shocking and unusual laws from around the world. Who knew that something as simple as chewing gum or flushing a toilet could land you in hot water with the authorities? It just goes to show that when traveling to a new country, it's not enough to just pack your bags and brush up on your foreign language skills. You also need to do your homework on the local laws and customs, because the last thing you want is to spend your vacation explaining to a judge why you thought it was perfectly acceptable to wear camouflage cargo shorts to a historical site. Look, the world is a strange and wonderful place, full of diverse cultures and unique perspectives. And while some of these laws might seem bizarre or even downright absurd, they often stem from a desire to maintain order, protect cultural heritage, or simply uphold a different set of values. So the next time you're planning a trip abroad, take a moment to familiarize yourself with the local laws. You might be surprised at what you learn, and you might just save yourself from a hefty fine, a night in jail, or even an international incident.